What do you want to feel? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 43 of our BU 365-day challenge. To do one thing every day that improves us in some way, shape, or form. So what we're doing with this annual challenge is we're breaking it down into daily, single, bite-sized pieces. Something we can do every day that makes us feel better, that moves us in the direction we want our life to go. And to make that even easier, we're breaking it down into segments based on the different areas and aspects of our life. There's something called a life framework, and there's a lot of different life frameworks, but the one I use, I originally learned from Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn and the early, now because I'm later on in my years, but the early adopters and the early teachers and gurus of personal development and how do we make our life the way we want it to be. So how do we feel the way we want it to be? I'm going to share two absolutely killer effective tools to use from now on to help you feel more of what you want to feel and less of what you don't want. And then tomorrow I will share, as part of our discussion of core values and emotional core values that we want, the ones we don't want to feel. I'll share a tool that helps us to make it almost impossible to experience those emotions that we don't want to feel very often. So we've actually broken the annual challenge down into 12 segments. The first 9 are the different areas and aspects of our life. So last month, the first segment, we talked about our physical health, our physical well-being, our health, our fitness, our activity, our energy, our physical environment, things like that. Physically, things that can impact us, and then how our body responds to those things, right? Now, this month, this segment, we're focusing on our emotional well-being. And we just finished the SOAP framework yesterday. Looking for questions. If you have questions on that, if you want to know how do I apply the SOAP framework on a continuous basis, etc. If you have questions about processes and how to document processes or any of the other things we've done so far, please don't be afraid to ask. That's what I'm here for, is answering your questions and making sure that we understand things a little bit better tomorrow than we did today than we did yesterday. So our topic today, I've got 2 tools. I'll share the first one. The first thing we need to know and decide about everything is, what do we want? So often we confuse ourselves and we say, well, I don't really know what I want. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know what I want to feel. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. We say I don't want almost automatically to put people off and get them to leave us alone and to give ourselves excuses for not making choices and decisions, because there are actually infinite possibilities and choices and decisions and things that we can make. And sometimes that feels overwhelming. Most of us don't want to feel overwhelmed. So our first tool today for determining what we want with respect to our emotions we're going to talk about today is asking ourselves, well, what do I want? Well, a lot of times an easier question is, and an easier thing to answer is, start listing off all the things that we don't want. And then what I like to do is take those don't wants and use a tool called flip switch. It's like flipping a switch on and off. Just ask yourself, well, what's the opposite of that? Here's what I don't want. So what do I want instead? And I just wrote down, let's see if I don't drop everything out of my book, a couple of examples of that. So for example, grab my magnifying glass. I wrote down, I don't want to be sad. Well, what if I flip the switch from sad? What's the opposite of sad? Happy or joyful or delighted. I don't want to feel angry. Well, what's the opposite of angry? I put intrigued. If I am curious about what the heck happened or what the situation is, or if I am curious, then I'm not angry. It's hard. We can't feel 2 emotions simultaneously. So if I decide I'm going to ask questions and be curious about a situation, I'm probably not angry about it anymore. And usually when we learn more and know more, we don't feel certain ways anymore. So impatient, since that's what I'm working on this month, patient is the absolute opposite of patient, right? Impatient, patient. And see, this is easy, but it seems so hard to describe and say what we want sometimes, but we don't have any problem listing off all the things we don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be, and then we're like, well, what's the opposite of that, etc. So frustration, I put present, and that's a personal one for me. Curious, alert, notice what is, because my old definition of frustration was anything that wasn't the way I thought it should be right now. Really bad definition. Irritation, I put delight, entertain, wonder. Wonder why something is irritating me. And all of a sudden, if I'm curious and wondering about it, then it's less irritating automatically. Doubt, I put sure, confident, belief. Think about previous experiences. Worry, I put question, been there, done that, excitement. And fear, I put question, been there, done that, excitement. And for worry, I put sure, confident, belief, and experience. So when I'm thinking about my emotions, I can easily list off the emotions I don't want and then flip the switch and say, what's the opposite of that? Try this today. I guarantee as you go out through your day, you don't have to make a list. You can do this automatically as you're living your life, just as easily as flipping the light switch on and off, right? How do I go from perturbed to unaffected? Even unaffected would feel better than perturbed, right? So remember, with our emotional guidance system, we just have to reach for a better feeling, what feels better to us. Sometimes anger and jealousy feels better to us than grief and disappointment, loss of a relationship, etc. All right, now the second tool I want to share with you today is a little 2-letter word called or. Think about, we've been talking about all along, we have the ability to define things and make them mean whatever we want them to mean to us. I get to define what love is and what makes me feel loved. I get to define what success is and what makes me feel success. But have you ever noticed, and I was guilty of this in the past as well, when I let myself feel successful, it's this huge list of all these things that someday I'm going to feel successful. Someday I'm going to be happy. If you have any, I feel happy when, and you can fill in that blank, you need this exercise. You need to use this 2-letter word. And the 2-letter word is or, because as we're defining things, we can make things really easy for us to experience and achieve and feel, or we can make them really, really hard. Tomorrow, we're going to find out how to make them really, really hard. But today, we want to know how to make the things we want, the emotions we want to feel, really, really easy. So we do that by defining success, love, joy, happiness, contentment. I guess I could pull out the list of all of the positive upward spiral emotions, and any one of those we want to feel, we can define those in ways by connecting them with the word or and making it really, really easy to experience them. For example, if I want to feel love, I can choose to feel love and loved anytime I see my granddaughter's face, anytime I see my kid's face, anytime they smile at me, anytime I smile at them, anytime a stranger smiles at me, or I smile at a stranger, or I wave at somebody I know and appreciate, or I get a hug, or I give a hug, or I send somebody a message on social media and share my love and support. I say a prayer for someone, or they say a prayer for me, or something good happens, or But we connect all these little things that can happen to make us experience and feel love with the or. So it's really, really easy to feel love or success. Anytime I do something that makes me feel like I've accomplished or moved my life ahead in any area or direction, or anytime I make a phone call, or anytime I get a promotion, or anytime I sell something, or anytime I help a customer or client, or anytime I do something I say that I'll do. So by using the word or and making a big list, and our action item today is to sit down and pick one emotion that you want to feel and define it with at least 20. I say if you can go for 100, go for 100 different little or things that allow you to experience that emotion. I'd say do success or love or appreciation or gratitude or something that you really want to experience on not just a daily basis, but 1,000 times a day. We can feel successful 1,000 times a day. What's going to happen to our lives if we choose to define success that way? People think that often we have to make this, and I think society teaches us this, that we have to make things really, really hard or impossible or hustle, the whole hustle struggle with respect to creating a successful business. And this is my area that I play in. And it grinds my gears because we don't have to grind and struggle. Struggle is 100% our choice and optional. And we can take care of this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll add struggle to the list of tomorrow. Let's not struggle. Let's not hustle. Let's not be overwhelmed, outraged, not know what to do. And we'll get rid of all those once and for all tomorrow. But today, I want you to make a list of at least 20 ways you can feel the number one emotion you want to experience by connecting them with or. And just read through that list in your head. I feel success whenever any little thing that makes you feel successful happens. I feel success when I have a good hair day. I feel success when my eyes aren't watering all day long. I feel success when I get out of bed on time. Or I feel success when I eat healthily. Or I feel success. And make just a gigantic list of those things. And then start allowing yourself to experience the feeling of success or love or appreciation or gratitude or contentment or excitement or delight or wonder or curiosity, whatever it is that you want, 1,000 times a day, and see what happens to the trajectory of your life. I guarantee it will go in the direction you want it to go, and you will easily improve without even having to think about it every single day. So that is our challenge for today. Any questions, hit me up, ask. Again, or. Use the word or when you're defining your things you want to feel and experience. And then if you catch yourself feeling a negative thing, flip the switch and just reach for a better feeling from our emotional guidance system, or reach for the opposite. I think it's easier to reach for the opposite than try to think about or remember what the emotional guidance system has. And really, you don't even have to remember anything on the emotional guidance system or how the different emotions land. You just have to know how you feel and what things feel like to you, and reach for something that feels better for you. Do something that makes you feel better. Change your body. Ask a better question. Da, 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 da. Any questions? Hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Go play with this or that or that or that or that. All right. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.